we are representing Northeast Regional Tibetan Youth Congress here today, and I would like to thank all the press dignitaries who are here to cover our conference. So before we start, let me introduce you to our team. To my extreme right, we have Mr. Dawa Gyalpo, who is the advisor of Northeast Regional Tibetan Youth Congress, and to my next to me towards right, we have President of Regional Tibetan Youth Congress Salagora, and towards my left we have President of Regional Tibetan Youth Congress from Kalimpong, and myself, I am the President of Kantok. So
your name?
My name is Tenzing Sipal, and Tenzing Sipal. It's T-S-E-P-H-E-L, Sipal. And President from Salagora, her name is Tenzing Ongmo. President of Salagora RTYC chapter. And we have Mr. Jimba, who is the President of Regional Tibetan Youth Congress, Kalimpong. So we are here to tell you a brief about our 64th Uprising Day, which we usually do it every year on the 10th March. So every year we assemble here the Northeast chapters, the hilly regions, all the chapters. We come to Siliguri and we demonstrate this procession, or we celebrate this day together. So let me give you a brief about Tibetan National Uprising Day. So in 1949, during the year of 1949, the Red Chinese Army had started invading Tibet. So by 1959, on 10th March 2023, there were millions of Tibetans who have come all across the Tibet. They have gathered in Potala Palace, since they had feared that there might be an assassination of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama by the Red Republican Army, Chinese Army. So that was the day where there were a lot of people who had come and they have spoken out. Before that, the repression was not so much, but on that particular day, all the people, they came out with such loud voices and protested against the Chinese people. So now, if we have to talk about the situation in Tibet, why we do this uprising day every year, so the reason behind is, a learned person has said, if you want to destroy the identity of a people, destroy their language, culture. So once you destroy the language and culture, the identity of the people gets lost, right? So in China, there are a lot of colonial boarding schools, which is started by Chinese government. There are a lot of Tibetan children who have been taken from far-flung places of Tibet, and they have been taken into colonial boarding schools. And the way they are brought up is, they are brought up with a Chinese influence. So that gradually what will happen is, our youth and children will lose they'll forget about their culture, and gradually what will happen is the identity will get lost, right? Since it's one of the metropolitan here in the town, so with lot of population, and we feel that India itself is a country where it has such a rich constitution which gives you to express your voices, and India is the only country who came first, means when we lost our country. And as you all know that lot of our forefathers and families, they came from the borders of Arunachal and the other borders from the Indian side. So India was only the country which gave us the home and the shelter to keep our identity alive today. So I would urge all the public, general public, to support our cause. Our peace march, which is going to start tomorrow from Panitanki, and which is going to end at SDP office, right? Yes, SDP office in Siliguri. So we would urge all the local people also to come and join our rally, because Chinese government regime is not only causing a problem to the identity of Tibet, it is causing problem to the whole world, as you all know. What happened during the COVID era?
So tomorrow, what is the rally time?
We are going to start at 11:30.
And from where you said Panitanki?
Panitanki.
Panitanki is
Mode.
Indo-Nepal border.
No, it's Panitanki Mode.
That is Panitanki Mode.
Yeah, Panitanki Mode. I'm so sorry. Panitanki Mode.
And around
It's going to start at 11:30.
11:30.
And you will hand over the memorandum to the SDO.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it will be addressed to the SDO or PM or
No, it is going to be addressed to the SDO itself.
SDO itself.
Yeah,
Only SDO.
And PM Modi.
and to the Prime Minister's office.
So do you think that SDO is the appropriate authority for such kind of thing?
Actually, during these past years, we have been doing the thing, submitting this memorandum through the SDPO office only itself, because we feel that that is the right channel.
So you will give to the SDO only, or you will send it?
We'll give it to the copy. We'll give one copy to the SDPO office and one to the PM office.
Who are basically joining your rally tomorrow?
From all the northeast region, and there are some local people also.
Monks will be there.
Yeah, there'll be monks from various monasteries. There'll be people from Sikkim. We have people from Darjeeling, Kalimpong, Kershang, Mirik, Otlapari, and locals here also.
This will be the 64th.
Yeah, this is the 64th uprising day which we are celebrating tomorrow.
Could you please tell?
Update you on some issues which Tenzing spoke about it. So about the DNA samples, as you all know that DNA samples are usually, means when you collect a DNA sample of someone, you need to have some high permission or to get it. So in China, what is happening in Tibet, inside Tibet, the Chinese government, they are randomly taking the samples. So why they are taking samples is, if I am the second generation of my family, so once my sample has been taken, and if by chance if I flee from Tibet and go to some other places, they can track my DNA samples and track out my families. So what they do is, they get into the contacts of my family through the samples, and they threaten my family, or they threaten us to come back to our country, to Tibet, or else our families and friends might go into detention centers, and they might go into prison. So this is the reason why they take this DNA samples, which is totally illegal and against the Human Act. Boarding schools have been running in Tibet, and secondly, what is happening is there are a lot of scholars, poets, like who are being detained in Chinese prisons. The reason behind is, since they write about their culture, the stories about Tibet, so these people are now taken into prison. They are not being able to express out. So these things have been happening, and as you know that there's been a lot of self-immolation in and around all over the Tibet, and till now 169 people have self-immolated. So this is the reason, because you are not when you are not being able to express out your voices, so that suppression makes you to do this kind of things. So now talking about COVID, I'd like to request our president from Salagora to give you a brief about the other issues in Tibet which is happening right now.
Aware of the ground situation inside Tibet and the difficulties that the Tibetans are facing as of now. During COVID-19, Tibetans inside Tibet faced challenges of travel restrictions. Those who tested positive and negative were confined in the same room. So all these have been done by the Chinese government. Like, there have been exploitation of natural resources of Tibet. 80% of the forests have been completely destroyed. Like, natural resources like gold, copper, and water, all those have been used by the Chinese and the Chinese have been taking mass collection of Tibetan DNA samples, including children who are as young as 5 years old. This risks the Tibetans' identity and massive surveillance on individuals' privacy and freedom of movement inside Tibet. Human rights are also infringed, like freedom of religion, belief and association, freedom of speech, freedom of press are encroached. We would like to urge India and all the other nations and international communities to kindly get a collective action against the Chinese communist regime. We ask for the free, peaceful and independent Tibet. Thank you.